Good morning, everybody. So I started making this video yesterday and then I ran out of time. So yeah, this time I left a whole lot of time. So what is up? I'm gonna talk about working with Oshun and the results of my shadow work. And I'm putting them together because I feel like they're interlinked. So y'all who have been following my shadow work videos, documentaries, documentation, whatever the word is, you know that the main issue that kept popping up was my mother. Like, I know I didn't document video. I did document on my own, but I know I didn't do like a video for every single thing, which I don't know. I might go back and do some more videos on other topics that I feel like were coming up within the shadows of myself. But that's for another day. Anyway, you know that my main issue was my mother. So, I'm trying to think what that video was called. Shadow work and maternal lineage, I think. Something like that. That video really left me in a spot where I was just like, damn, I'm fucked. Like, what what am I supposed to do after this? You know, getting to the conclusion like, damn, maybe it's my grandmother, or who is my grandmother rather. And, you know, as I said before, she's like my best friend, so I understand like, what am I getting at in this shadow work thing? And so I got really sad and I got really depressed, and I started to feel like, damn, like I feel like I can't talk to my grandma either, because who is she? After doing all this backtracking, who is she? You know what I mean? So during that time, this is how I came to work with Oshun. During that time, Oshun started to appear to me in my dreams, really beautiful and just very, very mother-like. Like the first dream that I had with her, I wasn't aware that it was her. I was just aware that it was a woman that was very kind and very comforting, talking to me and telling me that, you know, everything was okay and, you know, things are going to work out. And then, you know, it was just something that I guess allowed me to open up to the idea of even having a mother of any sort, even if it is a spiritual mother, because I was so far gone that I was just like, it's just not for me. I guess I'm not going to have no mom in this lifetime. Like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense to come to this planet with no good parents. Like, your mom acts a hot ass mess and so does your dad. I felt some type of way about that. And working with Oshun, she was telling me all the things that I wanted to hear from my mom about who I am or who I should be, about my own gifts, about my own talents, about my self-esteem, the choices that I made in life, everything that I was just like, why did my mom not teach me these things? Like, I appreciate the stuff that she did teach me, but I just kept feeling like my life could have been easier, you know, because I left my mom's house when I was 19. I felt like she threw me to the wolves. And I felt like my life was difficult for no fucking reason. Like, I just feel like I didn't deserve that. And working with Oshun helped me realize, like, everything seems one way. You know what I mean? Like, when you have a victim mentality, everything feels like it's falling on you, period. But if you step away from the victim mentality, you start to see all the things that you learned because of the fact that you were in those situations. And imagine where you'd be had those things not happened. Yeah, you might feel like you would have been advanced, but where would your knowledge level be? Where would your experience level be in life if you didn't go through hard times? I had to learn to forgive myself for putting myself in the position of being a victim. And I realized that some of the times there were people around me that were older than me that were trying to help me, and I did not accept their help because I always felt like if you can't trust your own family, what's the point of trusting anybody else? And so I rejected a lot of help that was coming to me. And that also made my life difficult. It wasn't that I was alone, it's just that I was unwilling to accept the help. And so working with Oshun, it was really, really life-changing. Like, it really lifted me up and really opened my eyes and helped me see the world differently, and in turn helped me see my mother differently, because it helped me realize that as children, we are so fucking judgmental, like incredibly judgmental. And it's not that there's, let me put it this way. I can't say it's right or wrong. It's a natural thing. It's a natural thing to be like, yo, what the fuck are my parents thinking? But everybody does it. But to be so judgmental towards my mom without knowing her own story, even though I felt like I didn't want to know her story because I felt like she was lying, to cover her own butt, to make herself look like as if she's innocent or as if she doesn't need to take responsibility for her own actions. And now I realize that when she was saying stuff, that it wasn't necessarily excuses. The truth that I got down to is that hurt people hurt other people. Hurt people, and that's all there is to it. It doesn't, I can't say that it's intentional. I used to really believe that my mom was somebody that was intentionally hurting me, intentionally standing in my way, intentionally punishing me and doing all of this shit to me that I did not like. Now, some things she did, there's no excuse for. I'm not going to lie about that, but, you know, we're on a different page right now, and I appreciate that. And I allow that stuff to stay in the past. However, other things she did, it was because she didn't know any better. Simple as that. And who am I to judge her and say, you should have known better, you should have done this, or you should have done that, or I didn't deserve this, and this is that and other. I realize now, and so does my mother, so I'm kind of skipping something. So during that time of working with Oshun, my birthday came up, and my mom posted something on Facebook about like how she was so proud of me and all this stupid stuff she posted, like things that nobody cares about, and using like my full government name and my non-government name, which is my father's name, and I don't even use that name. I don't know, it just pissed me off because I just feel like you don't ever talk to me. Why are you posting stuff? Don't say all this, like, I don't know, I just felt like I had to confront her about it. And usually I'm non-confrontational, which is why we don't talk, because we argue all the time. Every time we talk to each other, there's, you know, this tension between us. Nobody wants to be in the room with the two of us together. Like, there's so much tension that I would just avoid it. And so, I snapped on her a little bit, and it broke open the doors to go ahead and talk. And I was just like, I don't understand why you're saying this stuff. And she was like, well, fine. I do care about you. I do love you, but you clearly don't care about me. And if I'm such a problem to you, then that's fine. Have a nice life or whatever. And I was just like, I'm really sick of this. This doesn't make any sense. Like, all this time, here I am turning 30 years old, and we still can't have a conversation. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, to adults. And she was like, okay, well, I'm guilty about not treating you like an adult and realizing that you're your own person a long time ago. And, you know, me and my mom, we really never spent any time getting to know each other. And that's part of the problem. When I was younger, my mom worked and my grandmother took care of me. So that's the person that I'm closest to. And I think my mom felt some sort of resentment towards my grandmom toward about me, but she never took the chance to actually get to know me. And she was very cold. She was very scary, emotionless. She was not affectionate. She did not hug us. You didn't get no, I don't care if you bust your whole face. Like, she would just not show any sort of emotion except for anger, you know, negative type emotions. there was no loving motherly comfort or nothing coming from her. And she apologized about that, and then she started to explain that this is what her life was like as a child, and all she wanted to do, because I'm the oldest, that all she wanted to do was protect me from that. And she didn't realize that she was hurting me until it was too late. You know, once I was adult and I was already like trying to run the hell away from her. And I'm so glad that not only I'm so glad that I did the shadow work and digging in the way that I dug in, and I'm glad about working with Oshun, because I wouldn't have been able to see that even the overprotective mother that is constricting you to death is still a mother. You know what I mean? Even this person that fails you time and time again, they're still a mother. And I didn't understand that. I just felt like this woman is just a bitch. Like, she just doesn't care about me. She's not listening. I can't trust her. She keeps doing shit to me. I'm gonna stay away from her. But I realized that, yeah, some of the things she just did have bad intentions, period. I'm not gonna excuse that. Like the whole credit thing, there's no excuse for that. I talked to her about how she treat, my sisters and even my stepsisters and them better than me. She has better relationships with everybody but me. And I was like, you do realize why we don't have a good relationship, right? And she's like, it wasn't that I didn't want to have a relationship with you. I wasn't worried about you. I was worried about them. They're different from you. You got life all figured out for the most part about how to survive and everything, but they didn't. And that's what I wanted to put my focus on. It's not because I loved you less or felt, some sort of way about you. It's just that I wasn't worried about you. And for me, it all started to come together. It all started to make sense. Like, we really are so judgmental towards our parents instead of understanding what it's like to actually be a parent. Now, given I feel a certain way about making decisions of having kids before it's time for you to have kids, like before you're ready, before you're emotionally ready and financially ready, etc., etc. That's why I don't have any kids. But I understand that my mom, she went through several traumas as a young child. And psychologically speaking, most people who go through traumas, they kind of get stuck at that age of the trauma. Spiritually, on the spiritual side, you're experiencing soul loss, and most of the time those people are different than what they were meant to be. And I feel like now my mom's about to turn 50 in a little bit, and it's like she's turning 50, but sometimes her mindset is still that of like a kid. It really is. She's very childish and annoying all the time. And it's like, now that I look at it, I realize that she couldn't have been lying about a lot of the stuff that she told me about her childhood, because it makes sense. As I started to study and started to dig in, this is what the effects of trauma looks like on a person, and I realized that this is the person that I grew up. And she was like, I didn't touch you because I didn't want to be touched. I didn't realize, it wasn't that I meant to hurt you by not touching you or hugging you or comforting you. It's just that I didn't know what that felt like, and I felt uncomfortable, so I didn't do it. And that's with all of you. I just didn't do it. And she's like, I realized that it's affected all of you now, and I can't take it back, but I want to be different. And she's like, with my nephew around, that she realizes it's okay and that children are harmless. And this is really crazy, because this is somebody who experienced trauma as a child from adults and from other children. And my mom was so bad off that she looked at her own children as a threat to her being. Like, as if we were going to do something to harm her, or if it was going to, I'm tongue-tied. As if loving us or nurturing us in any sort of way was going to harm her. And she's like, it's taken me a long time to see it, but, I was wrong. And so I told her, I'm sorry for being so judgmental towards you, and I really wish we could have come to this point of getting to know each other a long time ago. I've been trying to tell you a long time ago that we don't know each other. And that's why there's arguments, because nobody likes to feel disrespected. Nobody likes to feel as if, someone's stepping on their toes. And a lot of that comes from being strangers, you know? So I can't be more grateful towards my time spent with Oshun. I'm not going to like initiate or anything like that. I don't feel like the religion of Ifa, or more like a belief system. I don't feel like the belief system of Ifa is for me. However, what I did learn, now some people say that the Orisha are actual deities, and some people say no, the Orishas are an aspect of yourself. And I realized that all I did with this shadow work was meeting an aspect of myself that is Oshun. And because I, was open to it and open to healing that relationship, Oshun, being the great mother that she is, was able to come out of me and comfort me myself. And you got to work with the Orishas to understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's not so easy to explain, but every one of those Orishas or quote unquote deities are just an aspect of yourself that you need to dig into. And the mother in me had to connect with my own mother and understand her as a mother, as a woman, and as a child, and understand that she's her own person on her own journey, and I'm a part of it. And sorry, some emotion just came up really quick, but I've been working with her energetically on, how to heal from these traumas, and it's been such a blessing. Like, it's weird. It's like I'm talking to somebody that I don't know. I don't know her, but you get what I mean. It's like for the first time she's healing, and I can see the healing in her. I can see the change in her, and we got a lot more work to do, but I don't know. I feel blessed. I feel amazed at what's happened after all of it, because it's been such a long time and my life has just not been easy. And I had to explain to her, so many things that she was doing that was causing me pain, and she was really unaware of it and didn't understand why I was so angry with her, because she's childish. But that's because she's, stuck in that childhood trauma. And I'm excited to do further work with that. And I guess I'll talk about that in future videos, some things that I'm studying now, to not only help her, but help others. So, yeah, this video is long enough. Y'all have a great day.